Okay, so here we have a page that is listing all the users. And what I'd like to be able to do is make sure that even if I make it into this page with the wrong role, the server needs to refuse to provide me with any data, okay, if I don't have the right credentials. So back on the server side, on the user service server there, right? The one who's providing that information is this one right here. This find all users. This is the one that is responding with that list of users. So one way to do it is, simply what we could do is have some logic here, right? That checks to see if I'm authenticated, right? If I have the admin role, I could put this entire piece of code, right, in a big if statement, right? Are you logged in, right? And are you in the correct role? Do you have the admin role associated to you? Correct, right? And deal with that logic in this function. Now the problem with doing that is that we're not just going to have to protect this function. We're going to have to protect lots of other functions, like change password, like change roles, like delete user, right? All those also need to be protected. Okay, so that same logic of checking to see if the user is in the correct role, is going to have to copy and paste this all over the place. Right, so it'd be nicer if instead we could centralize that in a single piece of logic, reusable piece of logic, right? And then apply that security across all the functions that we want to protect. Make sense? Right? So we're gonna try and do a little bit of what Passport did over here. See that? This technique is referred to as using a middleware, right? Meaning there is between the network connection that comes in, right, from the outside, right, and where you actually are receiving and handling your request, you can put any number of middlewares in between, right? And this is exactly what Passport did, right? Passport created this function, passport.authenticate, which is a middleware that says, I am going to be in the middle, in between the request that comes in and the final destination, right? And I'm going to do some pre-processing, right? In particular, what it does is that it intercepts it, and then it parses username and password, and then it gives us a chance for us to check to see if this user exists or not, and should we let the request go through or not, right? Or respond with a 401 unauthenticated. Make sense? So we're going to do something similar. We're going to create our own middleware called maybe isAdmin, for instance, isAdmin, and we want to put it in front right here. IsAdmin. Okay, and then isAdmin is going to encapsulate, right, the logic of whether we want find all users to go through or not, right? And then we can put this isAdmin in front of anything that we want to protect. Okay, maybe we want to protect delete user too. Should anybody just be able to delete anybody? No, only admins should be able to delete some other user. You should be able to delete yourself, but not others, right? Maybe we'll need to rewrite delete user, right? Because currently, I believe we do allow users to unregister, correct? And I believe it's using this delete user function. Okay, that delete user function is a little bit too broad, right? That just anybody can delete anybody, right? So we would like to be able to rewrite that a little later. We'll do that next, right? But first, let's focus on protecting find all users with this new middleware that doesn't exist yet. Let's implement it. Right, so that middleware is a very simple middleware, right? Basically, function isAdmin is going to sit in between the incoming request and the final destination, and it's going to intercept the request. Okay, it's going to intercept the request, and it's going to have as part of the cookie, part of the session, it is going to have the current user part of the request. It's also going to have all the functionality provided by Passport, such as is authenticated, is authenticated, is there, and is going to have the current user as well, the request user. And here we can ask, right, if the request user roles, right, contains index of admin, if that's greater than -1, right? So if that's true, if the current user is authenticated and has the role admin, then we would like it to go through. We would like it to just continue with what you were doing, where you were going. You were going to find all users. Go ahead, execute that, right? Otherwise, we would like to abort the request, right? Meaning we don't want this to continue. Right, we're going to cut it right here, and we're going to respond immediately. Right, we're going to send back a status of 4.1, meaning unauthorized. You cannot do this. You cannot do this. Because notice that, see this query right here? This query right here, if I know the URL of if I know the URL, anybody can just come to my server, right? Anybody can come to the server and hit that endpoint, that web server's endpoint. See that? My data is open to everybody, right? And that maybe I want that. Maybe I want to open up some data, but not everything, right? Like you've been using lots of APIs so far, right? And a lot of the data is available for free, right? But not all. Right? Especially account information like this, we don't want that to be available. So what what we want to do is protect it, right? If you're in the admin role, then yes, I'll let you go through. Otherwise, I won't let you. So how do we do this? So what we want to do here is continue, right? If this is true, and middlewares. And actually any function that is used to intercept or interpret or handle any HTTP request can take a third argument. Right? That express provides you so you can notify it whether it should continue, right, onto the next HTTP handler in the chain. In this case, it would be find all users. So this is the chain, right? For is admin, find all users, and you can have any number of these middlewares, right? One after another, right? And they will be called, right, in order. Okay. So if we're okay with this, we can just call next, right? And this is going to let the HTTP request continue onto the next middleware. Okay. So now if I restart the server, right, and I go back and try to hit this endpoint, which used to be open to everybody, instead now it gets a 4.1, saying no, this endpoint is no longer open to everybody. You have to give me a cookie, right, that has that is obviously is valid, but it also maps to a user who has a role of admin. Make sense? So if I come in here. Right, obviously nobody's logged in right now because I just restarted the server. Right, there is no valid cookie. If I refresh, it says there's no cookie, there's no valid user, there's nothing. So obviously it kicks me back to the back to the home page. But if I log in as Poe, who's not an admin, right, and then I go to obviously. I can't navigate to admin, obviously, right? But I don't remember. Did we protect admin user? Yes, we did protect it. Okay, but we have a cookie though, right? We have Poe's cookie, and Poe is not authorized, right? It's the same session, same browser. But instead, if I log in, if I log out and then I log in as Brad, and then I try to access that endpoint. Notice that it does let me through, right? Because I have a cookie, right, that is mapped to a user that has a role of admin. Right? So even if I would have somehow was able to navigate to admin/users, right, the server would have refused to talk to me in the first place. Okay, make sense? Right? So we can reuse that same middleware, right, and just put it in front of anything that that we want to make sure that is not accessible unless it has the correct credentials. Right. So let's for instance try out being able to remove users. Right. Only an admin should be able to remove some other user, maybe not themselves, but other users. And so let's add that capability. We'll do that next.